Yokoso, yokoso, yokoso. Arigato gozaimasu. Welcome to Xbox Monday Night Chat. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's a Monday night. We're going to be talking all things Xbox. Of course we are. We may be coming towards the end of November, but there are still more Xbox games coming to Games Pass. Call of Duty allegedly has been offered to PlayStation for 10 years. And Phil Spencer talks about Stadia, which is slightly ironic because it's Stadia's anniversary. Well, it was at the weekend. It was actually my anniversary with Stadia, 3-year anniversary this very day. But anyway, all that, all the Xbox news, and there's a lot of it today, so stay tuned for that, and much, much more. Time for the credits. Before you go, Mike's on mute. Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Xbox Monday Night Chat. As I say, we've got a ton of news, lots of good discussion points. I really want to make it a chat, so I'll be asking you lots of questions. Respond. Let me know what you think about some of the subjects that we're going to be raising today. As we raise them, put it in the chat. Let's interact. It's called the Xbox Monday Night Chat for a reason. Yes, it's all about chatting about Xbox stuff. And you, ladies and gentlemen, will be playing the role of chat in this little play of mine, as it were. And of course, let me know what games you've been playing. They don't have to be Xbox games. They could be anything. As I've been playing, I'll be coming to what I've been playing recently, but I've been delving into what's available actually on the cloud on Xbox Games Pass and enjoying that, just exploring games that I feel like I should have played and stuff, but, you know, everybody talks about, but I've never really played them. So it's been a good opportunity to do that. But I would love to hear what you've been playing this week on whatever platform, whatever it is. And of course, let's get the housekeeping out of the way, ladies and gentlemen. Please hit those likes because I like them. Yeah, YouTube likes them. And maybe if YouTube pulls its finger out of its butt, it might encourage other people to come and watch this, which would be quite nice because I think it's quite good. I quite enjoy doing it. It'd be nice if more people watched it, in my opinion. And of course, if you are new here, forget that modesty. Just hit subscribe and toggle that notification bell. That way, you'll know when I go live with shows just like this. And word on the street is, could be another similar show to this coming in the near future. I will be putting out some feelers on feedback on that over the next week or so. But anyway, as I say, what have I been playing? Well, you know, last night I dived into Dishonored. I think it was Dishonored 2. I'm not sure. I know a lot of people have talked about, or I've heard a number of people talk about Dishonored over the years and stuff like that. So it's a game I never got round to playing, really. So I delved into that early stages, but I'm enjoying it. You know, nice sort of little mechanics in it. Lots of sort of stealth work. So, you know, generically very similar to games all sort of, you know, decide which type of path they're going to follow and have, you know, similar kind of mechanics. So it's kind of interesting story, interesting sort of steampunkish kind of setting and stuff. But let me know. I mean, I feel like a complete noob when it comes to Dishonored, and makes me look like a kind of inexperienced gamer I am. Let me know whether you've played Dishonored or the series, what you think of the series. Is it your sort of thing? I'd be interested to hear that, of course. I played as well Vampire Slayer, which of course is available on Xbox Game Pass and in the cloud. Now, there's something about that game that on the face of it, you think, what the hell is like it doesn't feel like a retro game. It is like it is a retro game. It's not like a game pretending to be a retro game. I mean, it is, but it's almost like it's a genuine retro game. Like an old game that's been revived. It's it's not sort of like a homage to retro games. It is a retro game, although of course it is a homage to retro games, and it's sort of a game you think, what? It's like, if it was on Steam, you'd think, what's this sort of threat where, this shovelware? What's this shovelware? Oh no, do not be misled, ladies and gentlemen. It's a really simple, crazy, addictive game. You don't even really fire. You just run round in circles. Now, the way I explain it like that, you just think, well, what's the point of that? But actually, it's really a real fun game. So let me know if you played that Vampire Slayer game. It's just a really curious, fun game and very, very addictive to play. And of course, a complete contrast to sort of the big AAA games and stuff. I did play a bit of Penitent, which I thought I would really enjoy. But I think you've got to be in the mood for it. It's a great looking game, but there's a lot of reading. It's a lot of sort of text selecting and stuff like that. So I think you've got to be in the mood for that. If you've just come off, I don't know, Call of Duty or something, and then you go straight into Penitent, it's a kind of it's quite a gear change. But lovely game, and I like the way that you've got to sort of get things right. Make the right decisions along it. Yeah, Pentiment, yeah. And I also tried, which is also on Games Pass in the cloud as well, Road 96. Because this was a game that originally was meant to be, I think it was meant to be a timed exclusive on Stadia back in the day. When they announced it first, it was a sort of a Stadia exclusive. And then obviously, we know what happened. Things fell away. And then it sort of got picked up. I think it got picked up. It came on Switch. I'm not too sure. But anyway, the point is it's on Games Pass, Road 96. So I was playing that. And that, again, that's a sort of a dialogue heavy game. But it's a really weird mechanic in it where it's also on Steam as well. I'll just sort of, if you're not familiar with it, let me just play you so basically it's like a road trip, and you're sort of hiking across you're hiking across the country. You're trying to leave the country, get to the border. Something happened at the border. Some mysterious thing happened at the border. And I think it's different every time. The route is different every time. But all you've got to do is meet different people along the way and not die. And you could die by saying the wrong thing to the wrong person at the wrong time. That's the thing. And when you meet the certain people and it just sort of ticks, yeah, you've met that person, and then you go on the next bit of your journey. Like this guy, I said the wrong thing to that guy. He's got anger management issues. In fairness, the taxi driver, he did say he had anger management issues. Also on Xbox, ladies and gentlemen. Procedurally generated. That was the word I was trying to think of. It's a procedurally generated game in terms of the route and stuff. And the characters, you meet this character, sort of programming nerd. And I think you start in different places, but you've just got to complete the journey without dying. If you die, I think you have to start again. That's the basic thing. Really interesting mechanic. Let me know if you've played it, what you thought of it. But of course, I remember when it was announced. Because when it was originally announced for Stadia, there was sort of a lot of excitement, especially sort of being procedurally generated and all that kind of stuff. So I was looking forward to that. So it's nice to see that you can play it on Xbox Gamepass. There's another game actually we'll come to later when we go through the game announcements that are just coming in the second half of November, which just before. Right before the announcement of this closure of Stadia, it was announced about a week or so before. It was announced, a game was announced for Stadia, just a fun little game that's now coming to Games Pass. So that's great to see as well. But anyway, let me know. I've also seen somebody saying Sea of Thieves. I'm going to come to Sea of Thieves. In fact, no. So my son and his mates jumped into Sea of Thieves on Saturday morning, and he was still playing it Sunday evening. Like he grinded it. In fact, and then Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, he asked me to join him because obviously pirate legend, well, he's a pirate legend now as well. So I joined him and his mates and we had a galleon. And we sailed around. We ended up getting sunk by some Reaper guys. And my son rage quit, bless him. He was in a right old grump. Hey, Oscar boy, really? His mates weren't. I was annoyed because we didn't really get our act together. And we were sunk by a sloop, which is embarrassing if you're a galleon. I mean, it's 4 against 2. And we still got sunk. But they knew what they were doing. They were, professional sloop. They knew what they were doing, and we were disorganized and didn't. But, there you go. But we'd made quite a lot of money beforehand anyway, so that was all right. And that's why I was annoyed about my son getting so rage quitty about it because, I said, look, we've made about 100 grand this afternoon. We only lost about, 5 gold chests. Oh, we lost about 10 grand, 10 grand's worth of gold. Don't think it was that much, but he was a bit upset. But anyway, Sea of Thieves Season 8. Well, we'll come to that a bit later, actually. But they announced Sea of Thieves Season 8. And it looks like it's one of the biggest updates that Sea of Thieves has had a long time. Lots of exciting things coming along there. So, yeah. Right, let's go into the early bird chat. See what you guys have been talking about, ladies and gentlemen. Should we do that? We've got a poll going. Because Battlefield 2042, of course, I'll come to later, is coming. How many have we got? 14 votes and it's 50-50. I'm going to jump into it. I'm curious, that's the thing. I'm curious about it. Jerome, how are you? So Jerome bought an Atari here. One of these. An Onyx one. An Atari VCS, apparently. Interesting. Oh, look at that old joystick, man. That took me back. So anyway, hello, Jerome. Sednar, good to see you in the chat, everybody. Yeah, do as Jerome says. Hit the likes, man. It's really appreciated. I really appreciate you guys that come here every week, and the new guys and girls that are here. It means a lot. I enjoy doing this show, and I'd people may take me off to the loony bin if I was just shouting into the emptiness of nothing, out in YouTube land. So I appreciate it, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, Joe, how are you? It's just Joe. Good to see you. Sedna, I've been playing Plague Tale and Elden Ring. Oh, 2 great games. I've not dived into Elden Ring yet. How far are you in Plague Tale and what are you thinking about it? What do you think about it? Sedna, who is listening. Hey, David, how are you? Evening, sir. The Sun $300 Series Black Friday. Yes, I saw it. It's like Amazon in the UK. I think it's down to 189 quid, which is an absolute bargain. Xbox Series S, I think it's 189. Amazon. It's a ridiculous price for a console that's that good, and it's a good console. Not everybody needs, the top of the range. Let's see if it's still on the sale. Xbox Series S. See what they're doing. Let's just check. Yeah, man, look at this. Check this out. that 189 quid, down from 250, in a time when we've seen PlayStation 5 raise their prices. This is aggressive pricing. I mean, I've already got an Xbox Series X, or my son has. It's not really worth me buying one because I just tend to play via the cloud on my old Xbox. But it's tempting. You know, well, there's lots of things I'd like to buy. But 189? Yeah, so if you're in the market, you've got the money, I highly recommend it. I think that is one of the best values in gaming. It is a great little device, especially if you use it for, say, you know, cloud gaming. You could download, say, because it doesn't have much capacity, but what you could do is download those games that aren't in the cloud, the big games, maybe games that you play all the time. You know, maybe you're, you know, a FIFA 23 or a Warzone, you know, player. Download those, get them on there, and then, you know, use the cloud to just try out loads of other games. And then if you like them, download them, install them overnight, whatever. So that combination would work really well. And 189, I mean, they were talking about a streaming stick costing 129 quid and being too expensive. Yeah. So 189 pounds or whatever it was, $300 Series S Black Friday deals, as I Can't See says. Well worth checking out. I should put that link in the chat and then get an affiliate if you buy an Xbox from Amazon. Mostly Marvel Snap. Oh, I haven't started that. I've been trying out as much as possible. Keep going back to Ghost Runner, even though it makes me want to throw my controller out the window. Oh my god. Another one for Marvel Snap there from Just Joe. Very cool. The Atari Recharged games on the Atari. Very good. Really enjoyed the Dishonored games. I'm enjoying the sort of the stealth type action and stuff like that. Hey, and now your mama knows. Is in the house. Survivors, Pentiment is lovely. It is a bit heavy, text heavy. It's interesting. It is funny. There's some funny bits in it. There's this sort of tension between the people in the monastery and the local kind of farmer people, local villagers and stuff like that. That's quite funny. Yeah. But you've got to be in the mood for it. I might go back to it. But you've got to be in the right frame of mind because it is lots of reading and conversations and you're just selecting the kind of the next bit of the conversation. Yeah, Sea of Thieves. Honestly, that's season 8. Season 8, they're bringing back intentional PvP. So obviously the game, I love Sea of Thieves as a concept in a game, and I don't know any other game. Maybe Starfield will end up being like this in a kind of way. A game where you can go and do adventures, right? You know, treasure maps, explore the world, but it has other people in it who are who either are also trying, potentially trying to rob you. Although that's not the game, you don't have to. Maybe you form an alliance with them. But to have like an open world with other people in it, in that living, breathing world, is a real great concept. And I don't know any other game. Forget the sort of the setting of Pirates and Seas. Any other game where other people are in that game with you, other than the pure PvP. I'm not talking pure PvP. I'm talking an open world game. Originally people moaned about Sea of Thieves. It was too much of a sandbox game, and there wasn't any kind of storyline to it and stuff. And they've added some adventures that you can specifically do, some puzzly adventures, explore, or you could just, get treasure and find skulls and do whatever, that. Or you can intentionally hunt down, people, and they've kind of added loads of layers to that if that's what you want to do. But they did have, my monkey boy there, they did have a separate pure PvP area, and they closed that down. but they're opening it up, but it's slightly different. It's going to exist. So the PvP area, if you wanted to choose that, was separate from the main game. And it was just ships against ships, and you just had to find treasure, sink ships, deliver the treasure, and the one who got the most points sort of wins. But that was separate from the main game. And then they sort of stopped that bit. So they're reintroducing a pure PvP where you can decide whether you want to do PvP and challenge people. And then they've added layers and factions that you can join. So although you can do it in the game, this is specific. And then what happens is your boat goes under the water, like, you know, like a ghost ship, and then pops up in this specific area, which you've got to stay within because you've sort of said, I want to PvP somebody. And then someone else who's also decided to PvP pops up out of the water in that area, and then the fight is on. It looks really, really good. Really interesting, if that's what you're into. I do like just sailing around doing the treasure hunts and stuff like that. But there you go. But it can be annoying. It can be a joy. It could be frustrating. It would be rage quitting like my son. But there we go. Downloaded. This looks fantastic. Big Steve there. Look at that. Members. I should do what Rock did and put little numbers, and then I can tell how long you've been a member. Oh yeah, I'll play Battlefield if it comes to xCloud. That would be great. I'm not sure it is, Christopher. There's all I have, and we'll look at it later when we go through some of the games. All we have is a date for it, which is the 22nd, so tomorrow. But it's coming to Games Pass, but it's unclear whether it will be in the cloud. So I've been looking forward to Gungrave sometime. Yeah, I agree, Anthony. It looks really great. And we'll come to that as well. Look here. A little bit of Gungrave here. It says Carrier Coffin, which reminds me of an old, spaghetti western. The original Django movie. So I'm not talking about the Quentin Tarantino. The original Django movie from 1967, I want to say. Maybe a bit earlier. With Italian actor Franco Nero, who plays Django, and he drags a coffin behind him, and in his coffin he's got like a machine gun, a Gatling gun. Anyway, but yeah, this launches tomorrow as well, so I shall be definitely playing this. And look, it's in the cloud. Get rid of that. Cloud, PC, console, and there's a Series X and S version. So it's going to look really great. So obviously if you play the cloud version, you're effectively playing the Series X version. So yeah. Do I know I wrote around... oh, dear. Do you know any workarounds to get the Bluetooth working for the new Xbox consoles? What? To get Bluetooth working for the new Xbox consoles? Not sure what you mean. Bluetooth does work. So I'm not sure what you quite mean there, Gus. Sorry. So many great stories and adventures I've had with friends. That's the great thing, is teaming up with, mates, grabbing a galleon, sailing around, either being, salty, which is quite appropriate for a pirate EC game, either being salty and just going around sinking other people, and it's very satisfying. It's very annoying when it happens to you. And I love that, but you can't really complain. I don't know, people moan. What did you sink us for? What did you sink us for? It's a pirate game. You're pirates. You can't trust everybody. Sometimes it's nice you meet somebody, who may be sailing alone, and you can, form an alliance, and you both benefit from the treasure you find. It's such a great, and because there are story elements if you want to follow the story elements and get the achievements, but otherwise it's make your own adventure, which was a complaint early doors because it felt like there wasn't enough to do. But actually I had a real ball creating my own adventures with friends and stuff. Or, my son and I used to sail around. And had some of my really hilarious times. Sinking other people, getting sunk, beating the skull forts and stuff like that. So yeah, it is a great game. If you've never got into Sea of Thieves, if you want to get into, I'm tempted to start streaming again. I used to stream Sea of Thieves on Mixer. I started playing Sea of Thieves when it launched, on the day it launched. And then I started streaming to Mixer at the time because you could stream direct from Xbox. You can do that now to Twitch. But yeah. So that's where I sort of started my game streaming, really. I don't know if the Atari is on sale. Do you think Battlefield will be playable? We don't know. Just started Elden Ring. What are you playing Elden Ring on, by the way, David? I'm curious. What are you playing on? What system? 240 in the US. Wow. Diablo 4. Plague Tale looks amazing on Chapter 6. But interesting. I see. I never played Innocence. I remember Rock talking about Innocence. I never played it, but absolutely loved Plague Tale. And it gets better and better. There are a lot of chapters. That's tempting, but why back to downloads? Well, it's just at the price of the game. That's what I'm talking. Sorry, the price of the console is what I'm talking about, Christopher. It's just, if you don't have the games that you want, and you say, well, I just want to play FIFA. You've got a couple of games. What I'm saying is you don't have to fill it up. That's the thing about the Xbox Series S. You could easily sort of run out of space on it. But with cloud, don't have to. I get there, no doubt, but no telling what Luna will do. Xcloud and GFN are hardware based anyway. That's all right. Suarez, you're straight in the mosh pit. You're in the mosh pit. Oh, he's talking about the Stadia controller. I see what you mean about the Bluetooth connection. Yeah, no update on that. To be honest, I don't see that happening. It's probably an easy thing to do technically. I don't know. I'm not an expert, but I can imagine it is. But there's also legislation whenever you have a device that has an element of communication in it. That's why we often get a hint of what's coming from certain devices, because they have to file that they're, doing some sort of radio communications device. And so that added layer of sort of administrative legislation, I would imagine, since Stadia's not around and there's nobody to kind of manage that or warrant that or protect it, because it doesn't exist, I can't see Google going to the effort because of the legislation requirement for sort of there's probably some communications act in the US that they have to adhere to. And, if you're not maintaining or supporting the product anymore, then what's the point of going through that process? Which is a shame, unless somebody can come up with some sort of hack, that you could download sneakily. I don't know. Gungrave looks good, but Evil West looks absolutely stunning. Okay, yes. I think I've seen that. You're right. Hey, Pedder, how are you? Just what I needed after this weekend. Whoop, whoop, Pedder. Good. Good. I hope you enjoyed the England match, Pedder. I'm assuming you were watching. Torres says, yeah, looks good. Should we go to the news? Let's go to the news. Let's just look at some of the games that are upcoming. Why not, ladies and gentlemen? So, every week we announce sort of, I would have thought that at the beginning of November, or just before, they go, here are all the games coming in November. But no, they're always sneaking a couple more games onto Games Pass. So we knew about things like Gungrave, because I talked about that weeks ago coming here. But you've got this Lupin. So Pentiment we knew about. Somerville, this was from last week. Dune, Spice Wars, also from last week, just on PC. Ghost Law, just on PC. Lapin. So Lapin's a new one. It's a 2D platformer featuring a group of brave rabbit explorers. Norco. Here. Norco. Award-winning Southern Gothic point-and-click narrative adventure. Gungrave Gore, which we talked about here. Wow, this is more Gungrave going on here. Now, this looks interesting. Insurgency Sandstorm. It is a battle in the tour-worn environments of a contemporary conflict. Here. So this is Insurgency. So it's got a... But they rave about it on this video. This is from Xbox On. And that's coming to Games Pass on the 29th. And it's got a sort of a Rainbow Six Siege element to it. That's what it feels like. Battle in the war-torn environments of a contemporary conflict through a series of intense co-op PvP multiplayer modes. Feel every bullet and fear every impact in fierce close quarters combat as your team fights towards victory. Some of it looks really good, but the characters, not that you see your character, because it's first person. So the first person view looks all right. It's just the character looks almost a bit 360. But playing it looks all right. I wonder how it plays, though. The other game here, Soccer Story. So this was the game that was announced for Stadia just before Stadia closed. So it's great to see it coming to cloud, console, and PC on the old Xbox Gamepass. Soccer Story is a physics-driven adventure RPG where every problem can be solved for your tasty, trusty magic ball. Along the way, you'll need to best bad guys in 1v1s, compete in a range of sports. There we go. When I was at Lego, we were developing a game. We did it, but it was like an adventure, a football adventure game. So it had a narrative. And yeah, it was about this little player, and you had to sort of do challenges on the story in sort of, football land. You played a little Lego minifigure and stuff. It's a shame we didn't do it, but similar sort of thing, little adventures and stuff. It was a story, meeting different characters and using the football to kind of defeat the characters or overcome challenges and stuff like that. So yeah, this looks sort of a fun, relaxing game. Probably good for mobile as well. That'd be interesting. Pettis says, yeah, great shout. Nice boost to publicity. Exactly. Give it, why not? Why not indeed? Warhammer coming to PC. It's also on GeForce, not GeForce, it's on Steam as well. As you can play it on, it is on GeForce Now. They're promoting it heavily. They had a little beta, didn't they? I think a trial on GeForce Now. But it's coming to PC on that. So yeah, even though, as I say, we're coming to the end of November, you've got these games that weren't previously announced. So Insurgency looks interesting. And Gungor, which I shall be playing, Gungrave Gungor, which I shall be playing, definitely playing tomorrow. So yeah, let me know which of those games are of interest to you. Which are you looking forward to? And stuff like that. The other thing, while we're on games, is let me just see if I can find it. Yes, the other big news. Battlefield 2042, Games Pass, 22nd of November, ladies and gentlemen. So tomorrow, I'm trying to see. I'm sure there'll be announcements about it. Well, we'll know tomorrow, won't we? It's unclear whether it's going to be available on Games Pass PC, console, cloud, all of them, two of them, one of them. Don't know. But anyway, so I'm curious to dive into Battlefield 2042. I mean, it's on Games Pass. It's not cost me any extra money, is it? To give it a go, because as I understand it, after season 2, it improved quite a lot after its initial launch, which by all accounts was considered to be a little bit disappointing. So yeah, so lots of great games just coming in the next 2 weeks to Games Pass. So definitely look out for those. One thing I want to, and again, we've got a poll going on the Battlefield 2042. Will you be playing it tomorrow and stuff? But yeah, one thing I want to also touch on is that apparently, big story going around at the moment. Obviously, so we know, Xbox are trying to get the Activision Blizzard past the various sort of market and competition authorities in Europe, the UK, and in the States, of course. And what happens with these things is that the authorities, the market and competition, authorities, whatever, will seek input from other, from the industry. Why do you think this is a bad thing? And obviously, if you're a competitor, you're going to do everything you can. The company I work for, if we're going to move into a new area or do something new, we have to do something which is called the public test. That we can't enter into, because we're public funded, we can't enter into a commercial business using public funds to create a commercial business which would undermine other existing, the competition, the commercial competition. So it's the same sort of thing. We have to do a public value test sort of thing, which is similar to like a competition and markets test. And obviously your competitors, your opposition, even if it's a great idea, are going to go, no, don't want it to happen. It's a terrible thing. And then the markets and competition are going, well, why is it a terrible thing to you? Well, they could take Call of Duty away from us, says PlayStation. So Xbox said, look, we're not, why would we do that? Why would we take Call of Duty? And if you think about it, why would they make Call of Duty exclusive? Call of Duty is already a proven moneymaker on PlayStation. There are not enough Xboxes in the world to make up that difference to justify Xbox making exclusive to Xbox. Then the benefit they would get from making Call of Duty exclusive does not justify it in terms of the sale. They already know how many sales it does on PlayStation. If it was a new game that was, we're going to make exclusive, or like Halo, that never existed on other platforms other than PC. But a game that's already proven to sell by the bucket load on PlayStation, why would Xbox make it exclusive? It wouldn't give them the same return in value, in my opinion, by having it remain on PlayStation. So there's no intention, to be honest, of Xbox, making an exclusive. So PlayStation are just sort of, pretending to be the wounded party here, in my view. Like the reality is Xbox wouldn't. So Xbox said, look, we'll guarantee, we won't make it exclusive. We'll give you like a 3-year deal, to guarantee it for 3 years. And PlayStation, no, not interested. So then allegedly here, Xbox offered PlayStation, look, 10 years, we'll commit to 10 years of guaranteed Call of Duty on PlayStation. And Sony's like, no. It's because they Activision Blizzard deal, it's not the call, Sony aren't that bothered about the Call of Duty thing because they know Xbox will keep releasing it on PlayStation because it just makes financial sense. What they're really worried about is their major competitor gaining an advantage in other places, whether it's mobile games or whatever it is, which is a big thing of the Activision Blizzard deal because of King. So yeah, so what Xbox are trying to do is say, okay, if that's your big beef, Sony, that's your big problem with the deal, your fear of losing Call of Duty. If that is a genuine fear and you're not just saying that to slow down the deal, we'll guarantee that you get it for the next 10 years. What Xbox is doing is trying to flush out PlayStation to say, come up with a real reason, why you, other than the fact that we're a competitor, come up with a genuine anti-competitive reason. Yeah? We'll undermine every reason that you have, like, oh, they're going to make Call of Duty exclusive. No, okay, we're not. We'll give you for 10 years. So now what's your next argument? So Xbox are kind of calling PlayStation out to say, I think your opposition is just because we're a competitor, which is not enough really to persuade, the competition and mergers sort of authorities and stuff like that. But it's interesting, apparently. So this is apparently, in their $70 billion deal with Activision Blizzard, as they're saying, look, we'll give you 10-year Call of Duty exclusivity. They never, it's no skin off Microsoft knows. As I said, the amount of money they're going to make just from PlayStation sales of Call of Duty is such a massively popular game. Sure. They're going to make more money doing that than if they took it exclusive. So it's no skin off their nose to go, if that's your big beef, Sony, we'll guarantee it for 10 years for you. Next move, your move, Sony. Yeah, that's what they're basically saying. Yeah, we've taken that, we've taken the air out of your balloon there. Next move. So it's just interesting if, whether that's true or not. What it says is Microsoft has said it offered. We'll see. We will see. Let me know let me know what you think in the chat. I mean, there are other, options Xbox could do. They could have exclusive elements to it and stuff like that, but we'll see. So there's that. Look, Phil Spencer. So yeah, 3 years ago today, I posted on Twitter, those that are on Twitter, 3 years ago today, I unboxed. In fact, I thought my whole shelf was going to collapse on me then. Look. 3 years ago today, one place for all the ways we play. Founders Edition. Unboxed. I unboxed that 3 years ago today, ladies and gentlemen, and fired up Destiny 2, and I was blown away. And I thought, by God, they've only gone and done it. Cloud gaming works. And yet I know cloud gaming kind of existed before, but not like, the cloud gaming before was, it was laggy, latency issues, blah, blah, blah. When I played Destiny 2 on Stadia 3 years ago, fired it up, and it played and looked better than my Xbox One at the time, and responded, no latency, perceivable latency or lag. I thought, oh my God, God damn it. Google have only gone and done it. And it's quite ironic because, last week I fired up Destiny 2, testing out GeForce Now 3080 tier. And if you've not seen my video, I highly recommend you check out my GeForce Now 3080 tier video. I know I'm late to the party on it, but I've not really not had a need for it. I was quite happy with the world of Stadia, to be honest. But given the opportunity to try it, I fired up Destiny 2. And you know what? I was equally blown away. At the next level. From where Stadia was, it blew me away. The way that Destiny 2 looked on Stadia blew me away. Amazing. For cloud gaming, amazing. GeForce Now 3080 tier, 3 years later, oh my gosh, it was so good. Better than I expected. Spoiler alert, but watch the video. Anyway, why is he banging on about Stadia and all that? Well, because Phil Spencer here, in an in-depth interview with The Verge, I know people don't like Verge's new layout. I like it. I love this graphic style. I like it. Anyway, we're not here to judge website layouts. So it's a great interview. He talks about, the delays in, Starfield and Redfall and all this kind of stuff. Quite interesting, blah, blah, blah. But towards the end, talks about streaming. To be fair, people saying, yeah, he's talking about streaming here. The thing is, we're really trying to look at it as if we can get just more people to play more games and make it easy for every player who wants to play. And that's their approach. It's like they just want to get people gaming, and hopefully gaming in the Xbox environment. And I was in a conversation with GeForce Now recently, and they were explaining how it's sort of similar approach. They just want people to play PC games. And when you think about it, it makes a lot of sense. They're not about, oh no, it has to be GeForce Now cloud. No, because it's Nvidia. They make graphics cards. So they want people to play PC games. And if your way of playing PC games is via the cloud, great. If it leads you on like a feeder drug, if it leads you on to building your own gaming PC, great. You're going to buy an Nvidia graphics card or whatever, so that's the same sort of thing. And I think, Xbox are just sort of, generating more ways to play, whether it's on console with a PC. They're really building up the PC side of things. The Xbox PC library, console, cloud, whatever. But they also talk about how music. To be fair, I heard that line at the beginning of the streaming transition in music. Very famously, Steve Jobs actually said, people like to own their music. It's a thing that he used to run around saying all the time. We also heard it from the movie industry. It's true. Why would we want to stream movies? I like having my DVD collection. Why do I want to stream music? I love my CD collection. I sold my CDs, all of them, years ago. Saved them all up, downloaded them all, saved them all up into the cloud, and sold them all. What's the point of having them? Now, vinyl is different, My daughter, ironically, my daughter's into vinyl. I bought her a record player a couple of years ago because she wanted one, because it looks, it's a cool aesthetic for a room. But so she collects vinyl now. I would, but I just don't like clutter. I've got too much clutter. Otherwise, I would, just from a kind of cool retro point of view. But it's ironic, there's a certain irony with vinyl. But yeah, no CDs and stuff. Yeah, people soon got over that. And the same in the movie industry. I like my DVD collection, my VHS. I used to have loads of VHS because I studied film at university. Got rid of them all. Some really good classic films in there. So interestingly, the point he makes, it's just the point. So the point is, people change. Yeah, people's attitude to consumption changes. And what he's saying here is, it just depends the point on that curve you're at. So initially, people are like, I like to own my games. I like to own my games. But that attitude will shift more and more. So this is the interviewer saying, so are we going to wake up and it's all going to be streaming and subscriptions? And in fairness, Phil Spencer says no. So his view is it's slightly different. And games have a slightly different business model unto themselves. Songs don't. If you want to access the song, the decision is, do I play the whole album? Do I play a track, etc.? So there are differences, but I do think it becomes more and more acceptable not to own your games, to have subscription. Anyway, the point is, he talks about Stadia down here, which is quite interesting, I think, given many of us were into, Stadia and stuff. $70 billion gorilla, which is Activision. Talks about, again, Activision, about mobile and Candy Crush. This is what people overlook. People become so obsessed with Call of Duty, the Activision Blizzard deal, and Call of Duty, and they sometimes miss the real big thing for Xbox is a giant market share of mobile gaming. And then they've got it covered. They're building out the PC gaming, building out the console gaming, and ready-made, ready-packaged, one of the probably biggest mobile games publisher. Anyway, something to bear in mind. Where is the Stadia bit? I had it all lined up. Apologies, people. Call of Duty, Call of Duty. Oh, so he talks about Keystone. So this is interesting here. So Keystone, of course, famously a few weeks ago, we talked about it on this show, appeared on the shelf behind him in a photograph, and people said, is that the new TV dongle thing that they've been talking about? And they had been talking about this dongle to allow you to stream games to your smart TV, make your smart TV a game streaming TV. And Keystone was the project name of the device. And then they said, no, we're not going ahead with it, actually. It was more expensive than we wanted to be when we actually built it, but out with the hardware we had inside. We decided to focus that team's effort to deliver the smart TV streaming app, which to me makes more sense. You've got the Samsung Gaming TV app, which is recently updated, as somebody's just pointed out, and backdated to older TVs. Thank you, Jonas, there as well. To me, it's much simpler. And as TVs improve, like the new Samsungs, we're talking TVs from about 2021 onwards, have the processing power to really deliver great streaming. So the LG TVs do, Samsungs now do. So within a few years, lots more people will have the more powerful processor-based TVs. So it makes sense to actually concentrate on doing apps with LG, WebOS apps with LG, or the Samsung Gaming Hub app for Xbox, rather than like I've said before, an actual physical device just for the purposes of streaming. It seems a bit excessive. So we're going to focus on our effort on our partnership with Samsung and LG, please, where that might continue to show up in different places over time. That's what we're saying. Hopefully. Yeah, I think they have an exclusive deal with Samsung for a couple of years. They must do, because it makes sense to bring the Xbox app, streaming app, to LG. With Keystone, we're still focused on it and watching where we can get the right cost. But as I said, they talked about a price of about $129. I want to announce pricing split. I think you have to be around $129 to $99, so $100. Well, for $180, no, for $300, well, less than $300, $240 as it was pointed out right now in the sale, you can get an Xbox Series S. So another $100, you get a dedicated console. So that will be, which is also a great streaming device. So 120, it has to be less than $99. A streaming stick's got to be less than $99, unless, well, actually, if it comes with a controller. Yeah, we just weren't there with the controller. You need a package, I think. If Xbox were gonna release a streaming stick, you need a package. And this came in what? If you think about it, the Stadia, listen to me. Well, I'm saying the Stadia package, not Stadia, not the Stadia. I'm not a numpty. The Stadia offering, so was the controller, and then the Chromecast, and that was what, 89 quid, so about 90 quid. Don't know how much it was in dollars. Was it $99 or something like that? So that's where you need to be. I think if you're going to launch a streaming stick, you need to launch a controller with it. I think Xbox do. So 99 would be a good price, but I just don't. I think you're better off concentrating on TV apps personally, and that's what they're seeming to be doing. Smart TV, but anyway, so here's the big thing about Stadia here. So we just saw Google shut down Stadia. That was their big bet into game streaming, and they made a lot of noise. I don't know what they were doing. It's Google. They launch things and shut them down. This is The Verge talking. From your perspective, trying to build a streaming product, having Xbox, seeing a huge competitor come in and then leave, what did you take from that? Right? So we're used to this sort of journalistic take. Fair enough. But his response is interesting. Phil Spencer, the head of Xbox here. I always learn when other teams are building new games, new genres, and new business models. I have a lot of friends that worked on Stadia and were there at the beginning of it. I love the technology investment that they made. I thought they did a good job building out a cloud platform, and the hardware that they had was strong. I think we can all agree on that. The tech, basically he's saying the tech was amazing. I don't think anybody really doubted. If you're into cloud gaming, genuinely, and you question the tech, I think, well, I'm going to say, in my opinion, you don't know what you're talking about. The general consensus, right, and sensible world is that the Stadia tech was up there. Yeah, it did it. It delivered. It was great tech. And that is what makes the closure even worse, because the tech was so good. And here's Phil Spencer, right? So don't take my word for it. Some, YouTube streamer guy, Why don't we take the head of one of the biggest gaming companies in the world? Take their perspective for it. I love the technology and investment they made. I thought they did a good job building out cloud platform, and the hardware that they had was strong. But then what he talks about here is, to me, I thought the extra step that they could have added would have been some form of content subscription. So he's talking, I know they had Stadia Pro, but he's talking about a genuine, more of like a Luna model, I guess, or a Games Pass model. When I thought about a consumer base, because we were obviously going through similar maths at the time on how we should market. So there he's talking about, okay, we want to get into cloud gaming, and, we're looking at our business model. What should we do? Well, why don't we attach it to Games Pass? Then people could try out games to see if it works for them. Because if your internet's not good enough, or you've got rubbishy Wi-Fi or whatever it is, and you test it out, say a month or whatever, and you've got loads and loads of games to choose from, yeah, I can see where he's coming from. Although I still stand by the Google business model of being able to buy games and having a Stadia Pro subscription, which offered, gave you a library of games, which grew and grew, which, on Games Pass, of course, the games come off after a while. So you can't go back and try them, even if you've already tried them. Whereas with the Stadia Pro, of course, once they're in your library, and there's many of us in the community here who had a massive Stadia Pro library, which, if Stadia had stayed around, made sound sense. But, hey, we're getting our money back, so who cares? Or we should have our money back. I've got my money back. To have a predominant way your business model runs around a streaming subscription be built around the purchase of games early on in the introduction of new technology. I don't know. Yeah, so that's what he's saying. He says early on, he thinks a streaming subscription in the nascent period of launching a cloud gaming platform would have been the better option. I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but our view is that that's not how we should start. Having to buy your games is basically what he's saying. A subscription model is the better model, and maybe in his view, this is where they've gone with Games Pass and offering cloud via that. That's how you should start. We should start with something that has a lower marginal cost for a customer, meaning, okay, I paid $10, $15, so I can stream some games. Then I can test to see whether it works fine to me. And of course here, also we added it to console and to PC, so we gave people options in the devices. But there we are. It's just interesting. Oh, actually, it goes on about here. One thing I've heard about Google's plans for Stadia is they're going to white label it. We can run a game engine in the cloud and stream it wherever you want. That's going to be great for a future of VR. Do you see the same opportunity with xCloud? I don't think, yeah. He sort of dismisses it slightly, to be honest. But anyway, that is Phil Spencer's view on all things Stadia there. Just a kind of interesting perspective from Phil Spencer that, I would share with the rest of the audience. Just checking the rest of the news here. So we've got Battlefield. We've done that. Oh, yeah. As mentioned earlier in the chat, Xbox Cloud Gaming is coming to even more Samsung TVs and adding Rumble support. Yeah, I forgot that as well, actually. So Rumble support is being added to Cloud Gaming. I thought it was already there. We're adding more support and more features to Xbox Cloud Gaming. So we're expanding support to Xbox apps. So we're talking about the TV app, yeah, to Samsung 2021 smart TVs. My old Samsung is 2017, so in TV terms, it's a potato. Yeah, we're investing in making cloud gaming experience by adding controller Rumble to the Xbox app. I thought controller Rumble was already in the app, so this is for cloud gaming. So yeah, you can start playing on select 2021 Samsung smart TVs now. And chatting teammates to the trembling of a controller in your hand. There are lots of dimensions to gaming beyond that. Pick up your favorite Bluetooth-enabled controller, such as the Xbox wireless controller, and start playing. Feel the wheels hitting the pavement as you drift in Forza Horizon 5. And the reloads of your battle rifle in Halo Infinite. That's another game I was playing yesterday. PvP. I sort of put off it because I'm rubbish. But I had quite a lot of fun, actually, playing Halo Infinite PvP. It will roll out by the end of the year. Rumble will add a whole new layer to your Xbox games that you can play via the cloud on your 2021 and 2022 smart TV, ladies and gentlemen. So that was the update there. See what the chat. I think that is the most of the main bits of the news that we've covered. Nida, let's just move that. Move the chat bit there to there on this. There we go. Yeah, need a TV upgrade badly. I'm waiting for Samsung to send me a TV. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Come on. Right. Let's check out the chat. England. Oh, it was a great match, Pedder. Great match. It was most un-England-like for opening match of the tournament. And I tell you, the USA-Wales match was quite good as well, actually. In fact, I found it slightly more exciting, even though we scored loads of goals. England, 6-2. It seemed a bit more it felt more evenly matched, the USA-Welsh match. Good fun. I think I'd love Dune. Yeah. Interesting. It's on PC. I think I've seen it on Steam as well. Looks a lot. Yeah. Pedder, I think you're right. It's that kind of it's in that same area. Like a poor man. 9 to 5 was like a poor man's Rainbow Six Siege, wasn't it, really? It stuttered a bit for me, 9 to 5 on Stadia. I think that was the game. Hey, Dave, how are you? Lovely to see you. How popular is Rust on console? I don't know, to be honest, Suarez. I know Rust is really popular with PC players. Yeah. Let me just... I'm just going to go to the chat. Chat box. Let's go to chat box and refresh it. Oh, no, they're coming. It's coming. I don't have to. Let's go back. I don't have to. Let's go back to studio mode. There's chat. It's coming there. Yeah, I've never played Rust. Oh, poor Dave, no longer a game passer. That's okay. Dave, I've sort of expanded a bit, in fairness. It's not just about Games Pass. I felt I should sort of broaden it out a bit, although obviously concentrate on the cloud and, but I'd like talking about, the big Games Pass, the big Xbox news. And most of that happens to be Game Pass related, so we're good. I'm not sure about Rust. I found it fun on PC, but moved over to Stadia and now Xbox. Yeah, you see, Rust, I think, is a real PC gamer's game. Dave's waiting on his Steam Deck. I'm not a PC person, but I think it's almost a console. Yeah, I'm still not convinced by it. But in fairness, I wasn't convinced about GeForce Now 3080, and now if you're not, look, spoiler alert, if you've not seen the video, I've done a complete U-turn, and I can hear all the people that I can hear many people I can imagine going, oh, Fuddick Clive, you used to never be that hot on GeForce Now, but now look at you. Yeah, all right. Hands up. In my video, if you've not seen my GeForce Now video, look, I literally say, hands up, I was wrong. I was wrong to sort of dismiss it too simply without really diving in. I'm talking about the 3080 tier. The 3080 tier, I mean, it's still expensive. I've still got issues with the fact that it's the games aren't actually on GeForce Now. All GeForce Now is doing is giving you access to existing PC libraries. So there's always that extra layer, although they are trying to smooth some of that out. And Fortnite is a prime example. They have it preloaded in while it signs you into Epic in the background. You don't even notice. So you're into Fortnite like a console experience, almost much quicker, because it's already loading in while you're signing into Epic in the background. So you don't see that happening. And then you're straight in the game really quickly. And that's something that they've worked with Epic on. And more of that would be great to give that more console-like experience of GeForce Now. I'm thinking of talking more about GeForce Now, but obviously I would need a different arena to do that in. Let me know if you'd be interested. Or you can actually vote on the acquisition on the .gov site. Yeah, it's like a public value test, isn't it? Get public opinion. Competition and public opinion. Steam Deck does xCloud very well, I've heard. They'd have to double the price of Call of Duty just for exactly. It wouldn't make any sense. Call of Duty is not an Xbox. I didn't know that. Interesting. I guess only PC and PlayStation. Well, it does look fun, to be honest. I think COD being an exclusive title is a worry. It will never be they'd never make it exclusive. It doesn't make any sense. That's not to say it doesn't make sense to have exclusive games. Of course, it makes sense if the game was originally exclusive or never sold that many on your competition, then it might make sense. But Xbox, no, it sells more on PlayStation than anything else. So why would you shut down that market? You're going to make because you own the company, you're going to make a shed load on it. No, don't cry, Dave. I'm currently on 1080 priority. It's all right, no latency. Yeah, I reckon I saw Rock talking about it. I think, I think you should ditch the free the free tier and have like a free trial period, maybe, because the free tier is a bit nonsense, really. But the 1080 priority, no queues, get straight in. Although I've got a 4K screen here, most people I know probably have a 1080 4K screen, 60 frames per second. That's perfect. It's fine. It's absolutely fine. You don't need 120 frames per second if you don't have a 120 frame per second monitor. This isn't a 120 frames per second monitor. It's a 4K monitor, but it's not 120 frames per second. My TV is 120 frames per second. But I can't get 120 frames per second on the TV. You can get 4K. So they've updated the app on the new Samsung Gaming Hub, so you can get 4K 60 frames per second GeForce Now 3080 on Samsung and via an Nvidia Shield thing. I've got a 1080p 120 frames per second monitor upstairs, and my son has. So, but yeah. 3080 looks gorgeous. I tell you, it was also the sound. The sound is what blew me away. Let me know what I'm hinting at. I want to do a show similar to this where we talk about GeForce Now, because as GeForce Now, there were a few content creators that you all know and love. We're in a little private meeting with GeForce Now, and they said they will There will be a GeForce Now Thursday announcement of games and stuff like that and any news until hell freezes over. That's the way they kind of put it. So there will always be guaranteed news every Thursday to talk about GeForce Now. And they let you have it early if you ask them nicely. So we can prepare something and have a little chat about it. If you're interested, let me know in the chat. I might just do it anyway and see who turns up. But, let's start doing it. If I'm not mistaken, but it was on Wario 64 over the weekend. What's that? Yeah, hope Samsung and Microsoft can resolve and give us 60 frames per second with AI. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think the new LGs, the new Samsungs, the new Samsung, is going to be delivering the GeForce Now 3080 at 4K. You need, it would be great for Xbox to improve the quality of their stream. They have good games. It'd be great. And I love the console environment, but it'd be great the quality was up to the 3080 level, Do you remember the PSTV Vita in some places decade ago? It was a streaming box. I remember the Vita could play less demanding. Yeah. I vaguely remember it, and I know Rox talked about it. I see what it means. Even a hybrid PC storefront, but that's GFN. Need a new TV. We all need it. Did you have Samsung TV and could you do one live stream soon when 20... I don't have. I have an LG. The LG upscales the picture really well. And I played the GeForce Now 3080. And although, I'm not getting it in native 4K, it looked really good. I'm thinking about a new TV 120... Yeah. Yeah, definitely. If you've got... If you play on console that's pumping out, say an Xbox Series S or Xbox One X, yeah, you're going to notice the difference. The LG 120 frames per second, some gamers use it as a gaming monitor. It's that good now. There used to be a point where you'd never, if you were you'd always choose a gaming monitor over TV because the latency and lag inherent in the TV processing was too bad. But the big TV manufacturers know now that TVs aren't just about watching the big sports events like the World Cup or NFL or whatever it is. It's about gaming. And so they concentrate on making gaming look as good as possible. And that's why we're seeing 120 frames per second TVs and stuff for gaming, not for watching movies and stuff, because you don't want to watch a movie in 120 frames per second. That would be ridiculous. You want to watch a movie, ironically, in 25 frames per second. But there we go. Does the Series S have a remote browser option? It does have a browser option. If that's what you mean. You're just paying to rent a superb graphics card in the cloud, but you get no games. That's the thing. It is at the end of the day, a gaming PC in the sky. That's the thing. And I think the decision to use GeForce Now 3080 is a lot easier if you are from a PC gaming background and have built up a big, Steam library or Epic library or whatever it is. And I wouldn't necessarily use it exclusively because I don't have a massive Steam library. To be honest, I quite like a subscription model. That's why I've always liked Xbox Gamepass. As soon as it came out, I got it. The first game they launched, of course, big AAA game, exclusive game, was Sea of Thieves. And I love that idea. So I've always liked the subscription model. And I love the console experience of it being, you get a controller that works specifically, is exactly built for the games and the environment and the user interface, and it's all contained. I love that experience. But the 3080 tier is impressive, and there are some games that I will play on GeForce Now 3080 that, Apex Legends, Destiny 2 because they just look and play better. Even though I have them on, Xbox natively, they look and play so much better, even than native. Because bear in mind, I'm playing on an old Xbox One, not an Xbox One X or S. They play so well on the 3080. So there are a few games, mostly free, that I'll play on GeForce Now 3080 now. But I do prefer a console model. That's the thing. Just my way I do it. Let us know if you do the GFN channel. Well, look. Do you want a little teaser, ladies and gentlemen? What if this show on a Thursday, ladies and gentlemen, shall I do this? What, instead of this, no, it's not instead of, as well as this, we had a little chat about all the GeForce Now news on a Thursday. Welcome to the GeForce Now Thursday chat, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about GeForce. What do you think? Should we do that? Are you interested? Who knows? Hey, N7 Spectres, how are you? Good to see you. The deal I mentioned for a Series S. They should do something like the PlayStation TV. They should indeed. The difference gets smaller and smaller the screen you have. For example, on my Steam Deck at 800... Yeah. Well, exactly. So in my review, Gandhara, exactly, in my review of the 3080, obviously I demonstrate playing it, on my little Pixel 5 or whatever. Yeah, look, a 30, it's overkill. And, even if you've got a mobile phone that spits out 120 frames per second, which some 120 hertz, which some mobile phones do, I would say it's overkill, really. The real benefit is if you're playing on a big, I play via my GeForce Now via the PC or Xbox. So when I was playing Sea of Thieves, I was playing that via the cloud on my big 4K TV and my 4K monitor here. On a big TV. That's when you really notice it. So if you do play on a decent screen and monitor, that's when you really notice the difference. But yeah, look, I'm not saying, Xbox, it looks great. Plague Tale looked amazing when I played it. But you do notice a difference on the GeForce Now 3080. Oh, server, not browser. Play remote equivalent. I think they did for a while. I'm not sure what happened. You could play via, you could access your games on your Xbox and it acted like a server. Yes, they did for a while. 120 frames per second, £15 a month. The deals online for PC are always on, and the number of free games every... Well, exactly. That's a good point you make there, Case, because I am reluctant to buy games. I'm such a cheapskate, oddly enough. Because there's so many games I can play either via Games Pass or free games that I love playing, like Destiny 2 or Apex Legends or stuff like that, or even, Call of Duty, whatever. But, of course... Epic are always giving away. Steam and Epic are always giving a game. So I've decided now I'm going to be playing. Now I'm going to sort of be playing a lot more GeForce Now 3080 along with Xbox, xCloud. I'm going to try and grab as many free games as I can and start building out a PC library, but just to free games and stuff like that. You can get 4K on the Steam Deck. Wow. Oh, you can't get 4K on Steam Deck. Right. Okay, Gandra. I don't know if GFN would look much better downscale to... Yeah. Well, exactly. So I think it's overkill unless you've got a big screen. Yes, says GFN. Do the GFN. Oh, GFN chat too. Yeah. Yashida arigato gozaimasu. Hajimashita. Let's do it. Yeah, come on. Let's all do it. What time? I'm thinking 9 or 10. Same time or maybe 9 p.m. I'll take a vote later. What is a good time? Why would I want to play GIF on a Steam Deck and play PC games natively on it? Very good, valid point. I like it if I have both. Yeah. I'm in the mosh pit of the chat. Yeah, already. Exactly. We'll have a mosh pit. Yeah. Look, it's like a franchise. Yeah, let's talk about it. Do it, says Big Steve. Do it. Exactly. Yay, Spectres. That's what lurking's good. I did the Xbox Live conversion, so I'm playing $3.30 per month for the full game. Yeah. Good one, Gandara. Yeah. There's some good deals out there. People could stack up the old Xbox Games Pass, get sort of CD keys. A bit dodgy, but you can, yeah. The GFN 38 is meant for the big screen. Absolutely, 100%. And that's why, honestly, Destiny 2 looked awesome. I mean, I had a few issues with the controller. But when it works amazingly, less so on the PC, because on the PC I play wired. Brilliant. But I like to sit in front of my big shiny TV and play games. But I played Apex Legends and Roller Champions look really good on it. So I'm going to enjoy exploring more. And, you know, I've opened my mind a bit wider now. I was in my little Stadia bubble because I was happy in that world. But now that bubble's been burst. And so I've had to explore other things. And I'm glad I did. And I'm grateful, you know, in fairness, GeForce Now offered me 3080 to try. And I'm happy. Oh, Kate was hands-on with AC Mirage today. That's interesting. Talking of AC Mirage, it looks so. One of the things about GeForce Now are there's some big games missing. Okay, we know Activision Blizzard are reluctant to put games on, allow games on GeForce Now. PUBG isn't on it. I don't know why. So there are some big games that are missing, and some of the games are missing a lot of the Assassin's Creed games. But news is that Assassin's Creed, because they're not on the Steam library, Assassin's Creed games, I think, are coming back to the Steam library and possibly GeForce Now. I think I read that somewhere, but we'll see. Deliverance looks phenomenal on 38 tier. Presume 38 is ultra graphic settings. Yeah, and they sort of, if you've got the 3080, they load the game up with the sort of, if not the ultra, as high as you could probably get for a 3080, which for most games is going to be ultra settings. Yeah, because who else has got, I mean, other than you get a 4080, so most games are going to be at ultra settings. So, I mean, you know, I'm not a PC gamer. I don't like diving into the graphics card setting, all the settings and stuff of a game. So I quite appreciate the fact that GeForce Now, when you stream the game in the 3080 tier, it's already, the game already, you can go in and manipulate the settings if you want, but they've already preset the game to sort of ultra settings. Apparently, that's what GeForce Now told me. So, I believe them. You can play some multiplayer games that have anti-cheat on Steam Deck. They may be unsupported otherwise. Another user case. Yeah, there we are. Caseball AC Valhalla has a Steam page live tonight. So this is the question. Does that mean it will come to GeForce Now? I meant to be here in the chat studio. There we go. I'd lost all my chat. It goes live. There we are. 2nd of December. AC goes live. AC Valhalla live on the Steam, 2nd of December. There you go. Well, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That's it. We've gone. Wow. Well, I told you there was a lot to talk about. Normally, I like to keep this for an hour, but we had a good old chat. Loads of people in the chat. Make sure you hit the likes and everything and all of that. I really appreciate everybody in. It auto sets a very high graphics, but without too much lossless frame, so you can crank the thing up to ultra, and it's breathtaking. Yeah, I'm very happy with what I've got, but maybe I should go in and check on some of the games and up it even more, David. Yeah, absolutely. But anyway, yeah, so as I say, let's see what's happening in the poll. Wow. So, 55% of the poll are like, not that bothered about Battlefield. Okay, fair enough. The people have spoken. I shall be trying it tomorrow. Of course I will. Why not? Got Xbox Gamepass. Give it a go. Looking forward to that. Well, no, if it's not in cloud, I can't be bothered to download it, so maybe I won't. Yeah, we'll see. I just want to try it, see what it's like. So maybe I will. I'll go against my principles and download it. Who knows? But anyway, if you're up for me talking all things GeForce Now, there's some great news. There's some great sales coming up, I believe, rumoured. I get the news up front. It's embargoed. They've got their act together, to be honest, GeForce Now, in terms of how they communicate and stuff like that. And I know many people have said that all the time, and I'd ignored them. And yeah, whatever, you were right, I was wrong. Fair enough. So there'll be lots to talk about on Thursday if you're up for it. I haven't decided what time I'm going to do it. I'm thinking probably similar time, if that's all right with you guys, 10 p.m. Let me know on Twitter and stuff like that. I'll talk about it, get some feedback. And why not? Well, let's give it a go, shall we? But anyway, that's GeForce Now Thursday chat, the GeForce Now chat on a Thursday night. That will be the idea. But anyway, we're going to do this same time, same place, next week, every Monday night, UK time, 10 p.m, Xbox Monday Night Chat. Join me then. This channel, absolutely Suarez, on this channel, of course. It'll be the same channel, same place on Thursday. Hopefully you can join me. I'll let you know, and hopefully, you know, not 100% confirmed, but I'm pretty certain it's going to happen, and all of that. But have a wonderful, wonderful gaming week. If I don't see you on Thursday, fingers crossed, I'd love your support. Then I'll see you on Monday. Have a wonderful, wonderful gaming week, people. Sayonara.